Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about some world building stuff since we're doing the contest and kind of where I get some of my ideas from for different plot hooks for, you know, the literally the storyline, the places, locations, and NPCs and stuff like that. Um, so we all know like TV shows, books, and whatnot. Um, but here's a few things that I tend to use the most um, to kind of get inspiration besides for like D&D campaign settings and stuff like that, and pre-made modules. So first and foremost, the thing that I tend to use the most is I will go and use history. It's a great source of craziness and amazing locations. I tend to like to use locations that I've either lived nearby at one point or currently live by. Um, Example being right now with the world that I am running, it's typically the names and stuff are based off of where I'm from in New Jersey, in South Jersey. Hence the violins, Bridgetown, all that kind of stuff. Um, and it's very much a Cumberland County inspired names. And so I even add a little flair with the New Jersey Devil being in the mix. Um, and it's fun. And those who are in my game, whether it's family members or people who are familiar with the area, when I did the world for the first time with them, they love the fact that it's inspired by that. The current one that I'm trying to work something up is about a place that is two and a half hours or so north of where I live right now in St. Augustine. There is a fort up there that I just love. And those who do not know this, when St. Augustine was first founded was towards the end of Queen Elizabeth's reign, Henry VIII's daughter, and towards the end of it. And this fort is like absolutely beautiful, and it's got a lot of rich history and some crazy plot hooks. Um, like when the Spanish did the massacre of, I believe it was French soldiers um, in that area when they came by because they wouldn't convert to Catholicism. Um, so there's a lot of some really good plot hooks that I'm using with that, and I'm using the fort as a location. So I'm kind of getting that all in the works, and it's going to be interesting. But it's all based off of historical locations and events and stuff like that. And so I make it where it kind of has that familiar flair to it, but I definitely change stuff with it. Um, so it's kind of interesting. It kind of goes back to the roots of this gaming hobby that we love of RPGs, which was warfare games, like the Napoleon era wargaming and stuff of these great ancient battles and stuff. So it kind of brings a flair of that to it. So I love using history as a setting point for my games. Um, Another thing I tend to use is I take kind of some of my old school NES game flavor that I like. In particular, I did a game session where I took kind of a little story arc from the very, very first Final Fantasy, the one on the NES. And I took kind of a, you know, tidbit of plotness from that game and I made it into a D&D game. And at first the players didn't pick up on it. And then when they got further in the dungeon, they're like, "Oh my god, we're continuing the story from Final Fantasy 1." which is kind of cool. I changed it a little bit, but it was a pretty fun experience, especially for those who are in my group that love that game. So it's just something that I did. And I did it where it's not so blatantly obvious until they got pretty much over halfway through. Um, but they really enjoyed that little twist. Um, Another thing, the news. Oh my God, this world we live in is crazy with insane plot hooks and villains and NPCs. All you have to do is turn on the news, and on the news, there's a new villain for you just on the news. And I get a lot of inspiration from that. And so pick up sometimes even your local newspaper. It doesn't even have to be national. Pick up your local newspaper and flip through it. And you can actually get a lot of really good stuff for plot hooks and NPCs and all of that. So don't write off your local news. Okay? Some crazy stuff happens locally all the time. And whether it is someone stealing something or someone's missing and whatnot, the stories that happen in our news make some of the best NPCs and locations and plot hooks. This next one might turn people's heads like, wait, what? So I get asked a lot, Dawn, this is your gaming YouTube channel. Why are you subscribed to Gordon Ramsay's Nightmare Kitchen, and why are you subscribed to Dr. Phil? One, they have some insane characters in there. Two, some of those Dr. Phil shows, those plot hooks are just like, what the beep, okay? And with Gordon Ramsay, everybody tends to run the same type of tavern, okay? Every tavern in the game is just kind of the same boring blah, 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 blah. Well, if you watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay's Nightmare Kitchens or Nightmare Hotels, whatever, there's some really interesting kind of characters on there that you can actually pull out and put into your taverns to make your taverns even better. So, just kind of fruit for thought. Definitely check out those two channels, Dr. Phil and anything with Gordon Ramsay. They tend to take my taverns and NPCs to a whole nother level. Some of the villains I get are come off of Dr. Phil plots, like shows. Some of the plots, some of the really messed up NPCs and stuff, all come from Dr. Phil. I'm telling you, guys, do not write off some of these other stuff and all. They're really good tools. Okay. So I just wanted to make a real quick video and get it up real quick. So I will talk to you guys later. This is just some out of the box world building stuff that I use. All right. Bye, guys.